Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Please subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter, and leave that donation for that fried rice and chicken wings. Now listen, man. This, all this drama, right, with the fighter Lin out of Taiwan and Khelif out of Algeria. Listen, both of them have XY chromosomes, and there's been all kind of controversy saying, hey, basically women are fighting men. These two quote-unquote guys shouldn't be allowed to fight because they're basically, it's an unfair matchup. But what I'll say is this. These two are going balls to the wall. And it looks like both of them are going to probably snatch gold medals. But this is the thing. Let me just give you this information, then we're going to have a little dialogue about what's going on out there in the Olympics. Now, Lin out of Taiwan is going to fight for a gold medal against a 20-year-old Shremeta who rallied with a dominant third-round victory over somebody in the Philippines. So she's going to be fighting on Saturday, right? Then Khelif is the one from Algeria. She's fighting on Friday against a Yang Lu of China. So Khelif is the Algerian who's fighting a Chinese boxer Friday in the semifinals. And then Lin is actually fighting for a gold medal Saturday against a Swedish fighter. So these rumors about Lin and Algeria facing each other, that's not true. That's a lie. Okay, that's not what's happening here. But nonetheless, they're going balls to the wall. Now, there's all kind of craziness going on. And of course, there's a lot of political expectation, and there's a lot of political pushback from the IOC, and just the bottom line is let's just say the Olympic Committee. Look, man, they don't have time for the bullshit. This is just the age we're in, people. And it's unfortunate if you have athletes who are born as hermaphrodites or whatever is the scientific reason for them having the X and Y chromosome, right? I'm assuming they're hermaphrodites. And you're getting bits and pieces of information, but no one's coming out and giving you anything definitive. But the bottom line is both of them have XY chromosomes. And what's happened is, although there are a lot of people who have been given this a false expert testimonial bullshit like Donald Trump, fuck does he know? Elon Musk, what does he know? You know what I'm saying? The people who we should be listening to really are the doctors. Now, unfortunately, I give the doctors a bit more credit, a whole lot more credit than Bozo Trump and Cockahole Musk, right? But when they come out and they say that you have these two fighters who have X and Y chromosomes, but their testosterone levels are within, right, the allowable amount of testosterone to be found in a female fighter, that these two individuals have the testosterone within those levels, well, then that means that they're allowed to compete against women. See, this is where you start trying to assume and read in between the lines of what they're saying. So were they born as hermaphrodites? Are they transgender that have, for the last however many years, been undergoing a kind of transformation from men to women and taking all the different testosterone drugs or whatever, man, to reduce their levels? And like, what? I don't understand. Because if there were men trying to become women, I can understand that. But the whole shit is confusing. But the bottom line is, these two are in position to go on and pick up gold medals. And there are a lot of people who, although I would say they're a concentric few, that are openly displaying their outrage towards these two fighters. What's happened is out there in France and out there in the Olympics, I just think at an international scale, there's been a lot of support for these two. Because I think them, like myself, look, if you're born as a hermaphrodite, they didn't choose that. You know what I'm saying? And if your whole life have been raised as a girl, right? And you're out there playing co-ed sports, and you got the guys who are trying to beat the shit out of you, as in Algeria's case. That's why she turned to boxing. She was out there playing football or soccer, whatever you call it, right? And the guys would be trying to punch her, and she was able to slip the punches. They couldn't hit her. Like, they were trying to, on the field, hurt her. And that's what got her into boxing, because they recognized she was great at slipping punches. That shit sounds funny as hell, but it's the truth. So, I mean, based on what I've read. And as a result, she turned to boxing, where she was able to do very well. But nonetheless, I think when you start looking at this scientifically, and I'm not at all saying I'm qualified to try to attempt to intelligently speak on the science behind these two women. But what I do know is, based on some of these articles I've read, it seems that there is a bit of an unfair advantage. That no matter what, how these women chose to be raised, I just call them women, right? How these women chose to be raised, and as much as they feel that they're women, the fact that they have the X and Y chromosome, there are just certain things about them genetically and scientifically that gives them an advantage over another woman as far as power. And from what I'm listening to and what I'm gathering, it seems like that's the case. But that's why the Olympics has this thing where they're kind of measuring testosterone. But it seems like there's allowable limits, and that they're somehow within those allowable limits. Now, understand, the average, let's say the allowable limit, let's just use simple numbers, right? I'm just throwing bullshit at you. Let's say the allowable limits are like, let's say 10, right? For a woman to compete against another woman in the Olympics, her testosterone levels can't be above 10. Now, remember, I'm just throwing some shit at you. And let's say that the typical female boxer's testosterone level averages around 3 or 4. And these both come in at fucking 10, right on the dot. That's going to give them an advantage. You see what I'm saying? Now, if the average is like 8.5 and they come in at 10, I mean, yeah, a little bit of an advantage, but ain't nothing to really kick and scream about. But it just depends. It's how much of an advantage do these XY chromosomes have, because they're in there right now going balls to the wall. You know what I'm saying? They're out there beating everybody. And people are pissed. And they should be pissed. And they should ask the question, well, what exactly are we dealing with here? We understand it's not their fault how they were born, but what are we really doing? Because they should have hermaphrodites fighting hermaphrodites, if that's the case. And this is just me talking. Let's be real. It's just like there was some shit about transgender boxing. The WBC is like, hey, if you got these transgenders and they want to fight in our sport, no problem. We'll create our own little league, and there'll basically be a transgender league, and there'll be a belt. I don't know what that belt's going to look like, but it's supposed to be a belt. Shit, this is Sula knows something about. I did a video on that shit like a year and a half ago. And I'm like, okay, here we go, because you can't have a male that's transitioning to a female and being there fighting female boxers, and now he's in there breaking noses and jaws and all kind of shit. And you can't have a female who's transitioned to a male and thinks she's going to get in there and kick a guy's ass. You know what I'm saying? We've seen what's happened in combat sports, where you have the man who's transitioned to be a woman. Like in the MMA, what I got went in, messed that woman's skull up. And then in boxing, he has somebody within a couple seconds got her ass tranquilized. Dumbass grew a beard, shaved her head, thought she looked tough, got her ass kicked. She transitioned to be a male. But no matter what the hell is going on with them, right? Got her, his ass, whatever the fuck you want to call him, kicked all over the place. Knocked out within a couple seconds. So I do think if they want to have the transgenders, which I won't be watching that fucking shit. I'm just going to tell you, because my kids watch sports with me. And look, they can do what they want. I'm not for it. I'm not against it. I just don't give a fuck. But my kids watch boxing with me, and I ain't watching that shit. Bad enough to try to police fucking the YouTube and the shit they seeing and the stuff they getting exposed to school with these people having their fucking 12-year-old kids coming to school at guys saying that I'm a woman, girl, the female 12-year-old, 13-year-olds saying I'm a guy. And then my kids come like, Dad, what WTF is fucking going on? I'm like, love all, hate none. That's not for you to get involved with. You don't question it, but don't mistreat nobody. Because I got to teach them the right way, you know what I'm saying? But when they ask me, I'm like, look, that's something that they chose to do, but, that's for them and their parents to work through, But you guys, what do you think? And my son's like, I just think there's either a guy or a girl. I don't understand that. I'm like, you on the right fucking track as far as in this house, I said, but don't mistreat nobody. Don't mistreat no one. We don't do that. It don't matter whatever they're identified with, their religion, their race, whatever. We don't do that. Love all, hate none. But there's a part of me that, I don't want my kids around that shit. I'll be honest with you. I don't. Anyway, man, you see my fucking mind is going because I'm just sitting here thinking about, and the other thing, right? This shit has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Because I already talked about what I want to talk about with the balls to the wall shit. I was there getting my son's schedule. He's going to 6th grade. I got one going to 9th grade, 6th grade, 5th grade, and 1st grade, right? And I'm up there getting the schedule today. And, I'm sitting there and I see this, it's a young, I don't know what grade they were in, but it's 6th to 8th grade, one of those grades. And it's a young guy, man. And he did with all this makeup and shit on. And, just real ridiculous, man. And I'm like, watching that. And I'm watching, he there with his father and mother, and they looking embarrassed because he's not quiet. He's like super flamboyant. And I'm like, what is the shit my kids dealing with? I'm trying to think when I went to fucking junior high school, man, there was none of that shit. There may have been one guy who was like, yo, my man, but he played sports and everything, he's just feminine. He was chasing after females too. That was a little quiet fucker. He was getting at them honeys, but he was real feminine. But he wasn't, we always are joking, but then we found out they're cracking off the honey. Like, oh, okay, he all right. He just feminine himself. But in high school, there was one dude, and, you see him out here on Facebook, people look you up. Yeah, that dude is straight up, he out there. But, he was always cool as hell. Cool motherfucker, but he was gay. But he never was nothing crazy or nothing. And, he used to laugh because he'd be like, y'all always trying to get at my girlfriend because all the girls liked him. So I used to be like, yo, what's up with them girls over there? Me and him, he lived down the street, cool as hell. But I was like, yo, you gay, man? Like, we used to ask him, why, motherfucker, all these girls out here. And he was just like, I don't know. And at the playground, you guys were looking at the girls, I was looking at the guys, and we would just laugh. But we grew up with the cat, But nobody ever messed with him or nothing like that. But to see him now, like he's, straight up, he's out there, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't talk to him or nothing like that, but he's out there now. And it's like, but even when I look at him, he wasn't like this shit you're seeing today. He wasn't wearing nail polish and makeup and purse and all that shit. So anyway, I got way down a fucking rabbit hole on this because I'm sitting here. That shit at the school today bugged me out to see that little boy in there like that, going into whatever 6th or 8th grade. I just don't fucking understand it. I don't. But anyway, when it comes to these two, hey, it is what it is, man. Let's see how it goes. I'm pretty confident they're both going to get gold medals. But in my opinion, the XY chromosomes, if there's some kind of advantage that can be proven, scientifically, there's an advantage as far as their power, I don't think they should be fighting females. I don't. Okay, simple. X and X chromosome fight X and X chromosome. X and Y fight X and Y. If you got an X and Y where the fucking Y never went and opened up the pathways for the male reproductive parts to develop, well, then you need to fucking have those, however you want to classify them, hermaphrodites or whatever, they should be fighting each other. Simple. That being said, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, all 7 continents. Because there's so many women that out there bust their ass to get to the Olympics and rep their country. And to know you run up into a set of fucking somebody with XY chromosome, that's got to be discouraging. Where if you didn't face that individual, you probably would have gone on to medal. Probably win a gold medal. That shit's got to be discouraging. When I think about that, that shit agitates me. But anyway, I don't fault these fighters. It's not their faults. They were born that way. It's not their faults. But these people who are so afraid of political blowback, they need to fucking draw the line in the sand, firmly plant their feet and make a fucking decision. That kind of takes care of everyone. But right now, everybody seems to be a bunch of fucking pussies. Anyway, I'm in the breeze.